Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Hope you guys been enjoying the content channel as of late. We are off to the beach, day before Thanksgiving, so just going out and having a little surf session before Thanksgiving is upon us. Yeah, hope you guys are having a safe holiday. Hope you guys are with your families and you guys are having a good old fun time. Me and my family are just very relaxed. We're not really doing much of anything, so we're just very casual day. But I want to talk about this because my God, yeah. So I'll talk about this more in the general, not necessarily but as a stepping off point. There was an article that came out, I want to say on Deadline, that disclosed the marketing amount for Wicked. Now, at the time when I did my whole box office view, I had made the prediction that perhaps it would be like close to 100 million. It seemed a little more in the realm of possibility to me. Well, fucking hell was I wrong. Apparently, the marketing costs for Wicked have amounted to $350 million fucking dollars. Not joking. Double the amount of the production cost, and as far as I've read, it's the most money that has ever been put marketing-wise into promoting a theatrical release in Hollywood. Wow. Wow. So we'll get more into specifics in the news roundup, so I'm not going to really touch on that too much. I think based on my response, you can glean how I feel about it. But I want to talk about, because in reading that and also kind of looking more into the article itself, like discussing marketing as it is, there is a volume of money, a sheer amount of money that's being spent on marketing that is so freaking dirty, and really is another factor as to why films, I think, are just becoming so fucking expensive, and why it's so hard for these films to make so much of its money back. As an example, there's Spider-Man, what was it, the latest one? Was it No Way Home? Far From Home? I fucking forget. I think it's No Way Home. Apparently the marketing costs there were something like 200 million, and Avengers Endgame kind of had similar amounts as well. Like, it's insane. And I know people will say, like, well, those films turned out to do really, really, really well, and they did. They ended up justifying the entire investment, because the thing that people don't recognize when it comes to measuring box office is that most times the information, lately it's not been the case. I think that journalism, at least in film-wise, has been getting a lot better, because we've been getting more information on specifics that give us a larger picture of the amounts that are being made or are being placed on film. Before it would just be like, oh, well, we know the production cost, and that's really all we would know. So it's good to see that they're not just going to disclose that information, or not, or they're not going to shield that information. That's what I meant to say. It's good to see that they're actively going to show it to you. And in that, you get such a view on how expensive film can get. Because some people will be like, well, that film doesn't seem as bad because it's got like $100 million budget attached to it, but you're not considering marketing. So when you consider marketing, and it's such a weird variable, especially now with this news with the Wicked stuff, it's like there used to be like kind of a consensus, I felt, where like 100 million, the reason why I thought 100 million was because that seemed to be like kind of the norm for when studios were like very, very, how should I say it, like when studios were very confident in their product. That was the case with Deadpool and Wolverine this past summer, where they spent like $100 million on marketing. And you would think that actually is a lot more, compared to something like Wicked is, because that took like months and months and months of hype. Like I was seeing so much marketing for Deadpool and Wolverine. I don't remember seeing anything for Wicked, but it just goes to show you that all the cross promotion, all the partnerships, all that stuff that collects very, very quickly, and you have to be smart about it. Like, if you're gonna do marketing, like major marketing for a film, it cannot be more than the production cost in my book. It just can't be. If your production costs are something like, in the case of Gladiator 2, like, can you imagine if the marketing was meant to be the same amount or a little bit higher than that you're looking at a 500 plus million investment? That's literally how much, like, I mean, look at Wicked. I mean, just to sit there and say that that's not possible, just look at Wicked right now and look at how much that film costs when you consider now the marketing that I just brought up to you. It's insane. It's insane. And it makes for these films to do so, like, it pits them to where they have to do billions of dollars. And they're never going to get to those places. Never. They will never, ever be able to achieve those heights because it is impossible. It's way too freaking high. It's way too freaking high. There's no way, unless, of course, you are like a Deadpool, where you have an established fan base. Because there's another factor that I feel that sometimes studios forget, and it's a double-edged sword in what I'm presenting, but like, people nowadays don't really rely upon marketing as much as they do with social media chatter, which is free publicity. That's not even coming out of anyone's pocket. That's influencers, people just talking it up. Sometimes these influencers get paid, so sometimes it is out of pocket, but you get what I'm meaning, where it's like, it's chump change. It's not like they're not going to give millions of dollars to influencers to give a positive review to a movie. Like, no, they're not going to do that. Maybe like $100 or something like that, but nothing that crazy. And they're sellouts because of that. And we've discussed that plenty of times on this channel. People like shilling out to corporations just because they want to get their name out there, and they don't fucking care if it colors their review and it makes them not as reliable as in terms of an opinion. But the point is that it's so much cheaper and it gets so much more attention compared to commercials, compared to all these other things, like cross promotion with stores, and other things like that, like restaurants and stuff. Like, it's just way more accessible that way, and it's way cheaper. And I know the double-edged sword in that is that if, on two fronts, if it is a film that can potentially do that good, or if it's a film that needs to do that well because of how much the film's collecting in revenue, like, it's crazy, it's insane. And like, who knows? Like, who knows if it's even possible? Like, because that's the double-edged sword effect, where it's like, maybe not, but I don't know. Like, that's just, like, it calls into question, like, all the expenses being put up, it's like, is it worth it? It's like, well, look at how all these other films did. But again, we're talking about existing IPs. We're talking about comfort food, really. If you're talking about audience members, existing IPs with established fan bases, that's called comfort food. Okay, that's people who are familiar with a product and will want to come watch something because they're familiar with it. That's why most films this year, despite not being, despite financially not doing as well, like, just doing enough to wash their face, it's all notable IPs. It's not original content. It's not brand new content. It's not like new adaptations of existing material or whatever like that. It's all sequels. I just read that statistic or something just recently where the top 10 films currently right now is all sequels. I mean, that should tell you something about the general audiences today, that they're not giving a shit about new stuff. I mean, and if it is new stuff, it's within familiarity still. It's still adapting a notable source material. In the case of Wicked, it's a stage play. And, you know, Wicked's a very iconic and notable stage play. So it's doing something quote-unquote new, but staying safe in the familiarity of it. But still, even with a brand new IP, you should not be spending these amounts for marketing crap like that. No, it's just way too much, and it makes it extremely difficult for films to prove their investments were a worthwhile thing. So yeah, I think that people need to really they need to look into that, you know, because that's important. Like really important. And I think that to suggest, sorry, I was getting food just in case like you're seeing all the cuts. I was just in the midst of getting some food. But the point that I'm making though is that it's insane just seeing how much is being spent on marketing, and I think that people are kind of looking past that. They're not recognizing that. I think people, just be honest, are also being a bit lazy in terms of their analysis of why things are, you know, going a certain way. I think it's easier just to say that it's the production costs, and that's a part of it, but there's many other factors to it, and this is definitely another one of them. And I was not even really aware about it until, you know, that article really like put it in perspective for me. It's like, this is insane how much is being spent. Like I said, if you're spending your money, if you're spending like double the amount of what the production cost is, then you're in trouble. If you're doing something lower than that, then that might be a little more valuable, but like it should not be 50 to 100 to 200. Like that's just too much. You're putting too much pressure on film to hit a certain margin, a certain threshold. It's like, and film is just not in a state like that anymore to where that's plausible. So I really think some reevaluating is needed. I really think that things need to be looked at, because that's crazy. That's just really crazy. So yeah. So those are my thoughts on that. Kind of my just bite-sized thoughts. Just again, sorry, I was just getting food and just heading off to the beach. So I'm gonna eat my food and then I'm gonna head off to the beach. And you guys know your thoughts, of course, on just this whole conversation regarding marketing as it is. If you guys are into business or know more about, you know, those sort of areas, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Your thoughts, of course, on the whole Wicked just fucking investment, man. It's like, it's so fucking huge. Something like 500 million now. It's like, holy fuck. We'll get more into that in the news roundup. We'll get more into details about that, but I just wanted to do this video just to talk more broadly about just marketing itself and how that's also really killing film today. But you guys know your thoughts on all things marketing wise and its effects on film, and any other examples if you guys can bring them up. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And that's gonna be it for this video, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in, and until then, I'll catch you guys in the next video, and hope you guys are having a wonderful, happy holidays, whether that be Thanksgiving or what have you, or if you're just getting down on Christmas already like the rest of the world appears to be, I guess, at early Christmas or whatever, I don't know. Hope you're having happy holidays, and until then, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.